the perfection of our imperfection. Humanity has always strived towards perfection. Every human was born into an imperfect world. Delivered into imperfection, every newborn baby opened their eyes and saw a harsh reality. The initial impulse of the newborn was to cry, for the baby had fallen from the perfection of nothingness and into the imperfection of reality. Ever since the great fall, all humans were born to cry tears of imperfection. Predestined forever to seek perfection, people were delivered into imperfection. Our reality was not perfect. The reality of man was filled with suffering. Poverty, famine, diseases took a toll on our mortal soul. When the gods were absent from reality, the devils roamed the lands. The devils controlled the destiny of man. They controlled his suffering. In such a harsh world, one day was born a baby boy. This boy was unlike the rest. This boy didn't cry. This boy was delivered for joy. On his innocent sweet face, there were no tears. There was only a bright smile filled with radiance and delight. This baby boy brought great joy to his parents. Thus, they gave him the name of Joy. Joy lived among the people that were suffering. He lived among the wicked. He lived among the fearful, but his heart was never filled with wickedness nor fear, for his heart was always filled with joy. Joy didn't suffer like the rest, for he had learned how to find joy even in his own suffering. Everywhere he went, joy brought joy to everyone around him. In his heart, he only had space for joy. To everyone around, he gave that which he had. Joy had only joy to give. Joy went all around the world and delivered joy to all the people he met. He suffered just like the rest. He studied hard the books of the old. He cultivated the lands and grew crops, which later he sold. He too suffered, got sick, and later got old. But the joy that was present in his heart, he did never withhold. Joy gave joy to all the people. In fact, the more joy he gave to the people, the more joyful he himself became. Towards the end of his youthful life, joy gave so much happiness and joy to the world that everything became perfect. Everyone became joyful. The world was completely filled with joy. The joyful joy was filled with joy for all humanity. Humanity rejoiced in the newly found perfection. There was no longer suffering or sickness. There was only joy. There was no longer imperfection, but only perfection. For the first time since time immemorial, everything was perfect. There was no longer tears of sadness among the people. There were only tears of joy. Looking from above, the Almighty God, who was sitting above the heavens, saw the newly found perfection in the world. Even He rejoiced in perfection created by His children. Thus, He ventured into the world to seek the joyful boy that was born into imperfection but created perfection. "My joyful son," said God, "you have brought perfection into the world. I have created you into imperfection, but you made it perfect. This is no longer the land of the suffering, but the land of the joyful. As gratitude for all the joy you have brought onto the world, I will grant you one wish. You may wish anything, and I will make it real." "I have done God's work," said Joy. "I wish to make no wishes for myself. I only wish the world would forever remain joyful. I wish the world forever to remain perfect. I wish no more suffering to see the eyes of men, but only joy. I wish for joy to become the permanent destiny for all humanity. That is a noble wish, my son. I have pondered on creating such reality myself. I pledge to make your wish a reality, and that is what I will do. But before I grant your wish, I must first warn you of something. To ensure everlasting bliss and joy, I must stop time. I must freeze the flow of time so that nobody can fall out of perfection and joy. In perfect stillness and joy, everyone will live for timeless eternity. Is that what you truly want? Asked God. That is what I want, said Joy after pondering for a while. God granted the wish of joy. Time stopped. Reality was forever frozen into perfection. Unspeakable bliss and ecstasy became the new permanent reality of humanity. Permanence replaced impermanence. Perfection replaced imperfection. For the first time, our incomplete reality became complete. For an eternity, the only constant had been a continual change. Reality was constantly changing, transforming from one form into another. The direction of change was always towards gradual perfection. But now the end goal of perfection was finally achieved. Everything was perfect. In order to remain perfect, time had to be stopped. For if it wasn't stopped, people would fall out of joy and into suffering again. God stopped time on the request of joy. Time stopped, but the joy didn't stop. The joy of the people went on and on and on. Millions of years passed. Boredom had befallen of the world. There was perfect divine bliss everywhere, but there was nothing to do. For millions of years, joy stood frozen in joy. There was nothing who could do but bathe in his own infinite joy. The joy kept flowing among the people, even when time stopped flowing. For millions of years, everyone sat frozen, basking in the glory of infinite joy. Billions of years passed. Humanity still felt joy, it still felt boredom. But now, a new problem appeared among the timeless, joyful people. After billions and billions of years, people started to forget suffering is possible. Their memory of the suffering started to slowly fade away. Humanity started to forget what it meant to suffer. They forgot sickness and death are a possibility in their own perfect joyful reality. In order to get their highest joy, they started to forget the concept of suffering. Suffering became so far removed from them that suffering was not even a possibility. Suffering became completely removed from their joyful minds. Everything was still perfect, but now perfection became so perfect, people started to forget that once upon a time, everything used to be imperfect. They became unaware of the imperfection that permeated reality before they became permanently perfect. People started losing awareness of who they used to be. The only things they knew now were infinite boredom and infinite joy. For billions of years, joy too bathed in perfection. But now, he too started to forget how things were when they were imperfect. He started forgetting the tears people used to cry for the world. He too got extremely bored. But joy still remained joyful. Joy still was his chosen destiny. Trillions of years passed. After trillions and trillions of years, stuck in a frozen time, nobody could imagine the infinite boredom befallen of humanity. Nobody could imagine how boring infinite joy could be. There was nothing left in the world, nothing but joy. Suffering became so non-existent, the word suffering had no meaning among the people. Everyone forgot the possibility of sorrow and misery. For trillions of years, people lived without evil in the world. They lived without any distress, disease, or hardship. For infinite years, they only lived in joy. But without suffering, even joy started to lose its meaning. Without evil, people became unaware of the meaning of goodness. Without misery, during their infinite time, they started losing the meaning of joy. Without darkness, they could not see the light. While living in the permanent light of joy, they failed to see the light of the darkness. People forgot that they are forever joyful. Joy too forgot he was made out of joy. After an infinite time of knowing only joy, he forgot he was joy. Great joy flowed through his veins for all eternity, but now joy couldn't remember what joy is. Joy started to forget his own identity. Before he got completely lost, he imparted one desperate call to God. "Oh dear God," said Joy, "why have you forsaken me? I wished for infinite perfection and joy for all humanity, but now I have lost myself. I have forgotten my own name. I have lost my own joy. I have now forgotten who I am." God smiled from above the heavens. He heard the meek voice of joy calling his name. God descended to the world to shed some light on his boy called Joy. "My son, you are the joy who has basked in infinite joy for all eternity. You are the joy of the earth. You are the triumph over all suffering. You are the one who wished for infinite joy for all eternity. Did you have a change of heart? Why have you called my name? What is it that I can do for you? Oh God, I have forgotten that I am joy. In absence of misery, I have forgotten my own joy. In the absence of suffering, I have lost the meaning of joy. In the lack of darkness, I have lost my own light. Now I understand suffering is a necessary precondition for joy. Without the opposite of joy, I have lost all my joy. I have forgotten who I am. I don't know what I am." God looked down at his son of joy. He empathized with joy, for he knew a long time ago, when God was creating the world, he encountered the same problem. God too wondered whether to create a world of perfection or a world of imperfection. "My joy," said God, "I understand your destiny. I know who you are. I have come down to appease you from your joy. I have come down again to fulfill one wish for you. You may wish for anything, and I will make it a reality. My only wish is to learn who I am. I wish that you, O dear God, show me my true face. I wish to understand again why humans cry. I wish to understand again what gives them joy. I have promised to fulfill your wish, and that is what I will do. But before I do so, I must first warn you. I will have to unfreeze time. When time starts flowing again, you will fall to earth for all eternity. During the fall, people will experience the death of everyone they love. Humanity will witness the sickness of millions of children. Humans will witness the misery and starvation of thousands of civilizations. For eternity, you will fall and you will suffer. But above all, when you fall, you will forever forget the joy you have experienced here. You will forever forget infinite joy. Is this what you truly want? That is what I truly want, said Joy with great joy on his face. In the fall of humanity, joy recreated the suffering of the world. Babies were born again, and they cried again the tears of imperfection. A world with flowing time was created again. Time created the imperfection where all things fell apart. Objects decayed and people died. In this great fall, our reality was created. In this imperfect reality, people lived and died for all eternity. Forever they suffered from the lack of infinite joy. And you, dear reader, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? Will you wish for perfection? Or you would rather wish for imperfection? My wish for you is that one day you see the perfection of our imperfection. I hope you understand the imperfection of perfection. Only those who realize that we can't have perfection without imperfection, health without sickness, joy without misery, understand true happiness. Only then we will come to know true joy.